Hello everyone and welcome to another Total Annihilation replay. Today we've got a Painted Desert. Again, one of the Total Annihilation maps. And today we have a upload from Mastah, a lovely donation from him, of the Total Annihilation Gods clan. Against Gnug215. That's right, the boiler-in-chief, Pom-Pom 215, Pom-Pom. Mastah says Raghead bottom 2. And Gnug says 215 says he's got a solid build order from top, but he doesn't like having bottom. Kev says I feel like I've lost all my speed, and 215 says, hey, I know what you mean. So, and Mastah says, I know what to do, just click on stuff. 215 says, hee hee. Oh, that's cheeky 215. So you can see, Mastah's gone all winds, whereas 215 has dropped a solar first. And that's kind of a choice on this map. You can either go solar and avoid the E-stall. You can see how Mastah is griping about wind and the lack of E, whereas 215 doesn't have that problem because he built one solar just to kind of base load plus 20, so that way he wasn't fully reliant on the wind. So that can pay off sometimes. It won't on others. It's all just kind of a matter of luck and a matter of preference. 215 with two cons out. Mastah's got his 2 out there, and he's first thing you can see that they're both doing is they send out and they reclaim rocks. Of course, what Mastah sees is he sees the rocks disappearing, so he knows exactly where to send his fantastic Pfeffy raid as he streams down the map right there. 215's not bothering for the Pfeffies. Instead, he's pumping out some flashes instead. And Mastah recently reappeared in the Total Annihilation Discord. So, of course, the first time whenever I see a OTA player revisit us, I always demand that they send me their TADs. So he was kind enough to upload these to the TADA website, and then I was able to have my pick of them. So if you want, you can also visit TADA. You can search Mastah or Gnug215 and see what games that they have available. You'll be able to find this, download it, and watch it yourself if you want to see all the action, not at plus 10 speed. Nice little rating by Mastah right here. Catches this con out. He also manages to pick up this metal extractor right there. He knows that there are flashes about, so he runs down. He decides he'll settle for a metal extractor. And he gets away. More obnoxious Pfeffy rating. See, 215's got it on radar. .215's flash rate doesn't get much for its trouble. And Mastah's Pfeffy discovers what D-Gun feels like. I, for one, do not know what D-Gun feels like. Sorry, that's just habit. As a core commander, D-Gunning flashes is just, it's instinctual for me. .215's got good radar up. Mastah, on the other hand, I don't know if he saw that one coming. These guys are able to get him from the top. Sends these 3 to intercept. 215 manages to get away. 215's interception and interdiction goes a little bit better. Mastah amassing flashes on the sides. You can see he's got just some flashes that are parked by his metal extractors. I don't think 215 has shoot all on. And Mastah goes in, just reclaims that. That excess metal will certainly come in handy. Mastah manages to tag a con. Those are the most important objectives on this map. Making sure you take out those construction vehicles. Metal extractors are also important, but letting a single con get away can result in large forests of missile towers appearing out of nowhere, like magic. A single missile tower is not going to be enough to handle the flash, but these other flashes will protect the con. And down goes the flash. Mastah's con has managed to get away. He has a Samson with it for a little bit of local protection. that was nicely done by Mastah right there. You see how we managed to bring that flash around right in front, and that slowed down 215's flash just enough so that his pack of flashes in the back could come in and clean it up. It's a good way to do that. So if you have flashes that you're trying to intercept with a single flash and you have a pack following, you just drive one in the way, and then the slight drop in speed or change in direction from the attacking flashes will cause your pack to be able to catch up. It's a subtle kind of unit control that really can make or break a game. 215 doing what 215 does and building lots of stuff. He wants this hill. Mastah decides he's going to rush it. But also, by rush it, I mean stop short and wait until his flashes are slaughtered. But it's okay, he still manages to tag a Khan for his trouble. Mastah comes out ahead in that exchange. Knowing there's a Khan over here because of the previous missile tower attack, he comes searching for it. 215 sends his Khan away and towards his own flashes. 215 doing his own chasing. 215 still doesn't have shoot all turned on. That's causing him some problems. Mastah, on the other hand, does. He managed to pick up some more metal extractors. Right now, resources are largely in favor of Mastah on 17 versus 215's 11. Just superior rating by Mastah right now, giving him the advantage. Now, 215 is playing what appears to be a little bit of a counterattack game. He's got a whole bunch of flashes that are just ready to go. Bigger packs versus the smaller rating forces of Mastah. Although you can see 215 once again is down another Khan. Mastah's rating is really working out for him. Lots of these guys in the middle. The Khans are there to try and take the hill. Now, center hill is important to take because it has a bunch of metal that's a little bit closer together, makes it a little bit easier to defend. Nice building by Mastah right here. Quickly drops these missile towers. That's going to be 8 missile towers dropped very fast. That's going to be more than enough with the flashes to be able to protect it from anything other than a serious flash force. Good job by 215 to pick up the Khan right there. Still not taking out those metal extractors again. Shoot all, not having shoot all is hurting 215. 3 factories from 215. 2 from Mastah. Mastah switched to Samson's. Again, slightly better territory control. This is where things are shifting into big builder mode. You can see he's now got 5 idle Khans, that favorite strategy of my own. 215 realizes that he's in over his head right here. The flashes plus the row of missile towers does its job. Controls thing for Mastah in the middle. He's got the hill. So he's also putting down a nice sentinel up on the hill with the flashes having to charge up it. It will have no problem protecting that territory. 215 seems to have shoot all on now, and he is busy attacking. He manages to get another Khan and a bunch of wins. These Samsons will clean up that little rating force. 215 trying to take the middle. Drives the flashes up the hill. You can see how the flashes, as they die, they create little wreckage that protects it. But 215 does manage with his serious attack force to take out the missile tower. Mastah will retain control of the hill. Idle Khans right there, but that's because he's busy trying to take and push him out of the middle. What you see, what Mastah did lose is he dropped all his Khans, so he's got nothing with which to repair it. That does make the middle vulnerable to a continuous attack, which is what 215 is doing. See Mastah starting to hose out lots of wins, hook those wins. 215 doing much the same. Still has these that Mastah wiped out earlier. You can see Mastah's moved for the corners. He's got both bottom left and top right with metal extractors cap. Mastah is hovering around 35 metal, I believe, to 215's 25 or so. 215's got the advantage in labs, although I don't know for how long. 215's trying to make a push on the middle at this point. He's moved his Khans up. He's really kind of aggressive with the Khans. I like it. Samsons have a lot of trouble on this hill. It's hard to see. You can see the elevation lines here. It's very subtle, but it's enough to block missiles. So it's tough to defend this hill with missile units. See, 215 drops another con, or Mastah bags it, really. Lots of big building coming here. Mastah's not hooking. Actually, it looks like he's just clicking like a champ. Oh, here we go. Now he's got his rows right there. TA hook, for those who aren't aware, that's when you're able to take, hold down Shift and X at the same time. Click once, click again, and then you'll be able to build rows of things. It's a function of the recorder. If you download the patches, you will be able to do that too. You'll be able to build lots of stuff very quickly. You too can be a boiler like 215. Mastah at this point still with the territory advantage. 215's got some radar down here. The con that built all this is now dead. Mastah doesn't have anything to continue to hold it with, other than that guy, which is a little bit further north. 215 continuing his hard push on the middle, and because of his hard push, he's actually won himself this wreck field. So you can see he's gone and he's reclaimed all these with this con. .215 controlling his territory with a very wide missile tower forest. When you're dealing with flashes, having your things spaced, it makes it harder for them to go from one to the next without getting destroyed. The only issue is this isn't a lot of firepower, so this works really well against raiding, but against a serious head-on attack, it's not as good. Mastah really wants this hill. He plans on taking it with the Guardian. 215 spots it. He's already building a Guardian of his own. The reason why 215 probably feels good about building this is he's got all these wrecks. Just for reference, this game was played in 2006. So this was at a high tides in the TA competitive scene. Mastah's missile tower hill, it's got lots of firepower. It's got a little space controlled around it. Three cons building to one. 215's certainly got the advantage when it comes to building this. Dropping that guard. That's a lot of metal. 215 has gone advanced. 5 factories. You can see Mastah's a little slower going advanced at this point. Again, Mastah holds the territory and resource advantage. He's starting to clean up, do a little bit of reclaiming himself. But 215's Guardian comes online. He immediately starts shelling the laser tower first. And this works out for him. 215 will have secured himself more than that Guardian's cost in wreckage. Advanced cons for 215. Mastah's advance is done too. He's also pushing out some advanced cons. Stumpies. Now, why on earth is 215 building Stumpies? One or two reasons. He's either misclicked, or he actually intends to continue Control-Zing, which is what he's doing, and he wants a force that he can control easier. So he's Control-Zing to get all his flashes to come middle and build a very large centralized force. So if he wants to be able to raid while still using that functionality, then he can use a different unit, even if it's not as good at taking territory and fighting. So, you see, switch to cons here. Now, some people say, well, like, well, Control-Z, that's a noob thing to do, to continually use that to grab all units of the same type. I don't necessarily think so. I think it's, you want all your units that you have to being able to be used. You don't really want a lot of stuff in inventory, as I call it. Mastah realizes that 215 is over-invested in the middle, and he goes and takes advantage of that by cutting in through the south, taking out some of 215's metal production, using his Samsons, and a better territory for them because they're on the flat ground. The only downside is he is moving them with it. He hasn't separated the Samsons from the flashes. There he goes. Now he does that. You see, he's separated the Samsons, uses the flashes for line of sight, keeps the Samsons back where they can shoot and take advantage of their superior range. .215 does Control-Z all his flashes. The big pack from the north and the south come in and push Mastah out. The downside is this does leave a lot of wreckage that is much easier for 215 to get at than it is for Mastah to. 215 has another raiding force, this time of Samsons, going up the side. You can see Mastah's got another factory of producing Samsons that's a little bit closer to the front line. Big force now cutting south. 215 is starting to work on some fusions, but that's a little close to the danger zone. 215's Samson range is somewhat successful. He managed to clear out the metal extractors on the bottom left. $215 loves these. Dragon's Teeth wall right there, trying to help him control the territory and delay the attack. Doesn't work out. Mastah's already behind the front line wall right there. 215 working on a fusion. Lots of nice hooked winds. You can see lots of metal makers too. Mastah's got all this stuff that's built, but it's not as neat and tidy. Both of them are stalling on metal and energy at this point. They're trying to take all that excess energy that they're getting from the winds and turn it into metal. The ratio's a little hard to control, and they haven't turned off their excess metal extractors because they're too busy fighting each other. 215 has secured the middle. He's got a claimed King of the Hill with a sentinel of his own. The raiding force turns in here. Yep, you can see how good 215 is right here with cleaning up the mess that Mastah left him. He's gone air, he's put out some construction air units, and he's already picked up nearly the entire thing. I wouldn't be surprised if that has put him well ahead. Indeed it has. 215 at 71,000 metal produced to Mastah's 66,000. So now 215 is starting to really push back and take the lead right here. Poor Mastah didn't realize that it's very important not to let a Gnug boil. Although, you know what, I guess he's doing his best to stop that from happening. It's big force of Samson that's collected right here. Again, using the flashes for line of sight and close range fighting, Samson's are a little bit further back. Mastah's already got his first fusion up. 215 looks like he hasn't decided exactly where to put it. There he goes, now he's putting it up in the back. He's got a functioning Moho metal maker right there. Mastah does not. So Mastah's got the jump on him when it comes to getting his advanced economy going. And here we go, another nice big wall from 215. 215 has decided he doesn't need the rest of the map. He's satisfied where he's at. Aircon's another kind going out to pick up that mess. And his wall builder gets caught out and destroyed. He's only got a pair of Samsons to defend himself against this attacking force. It looks like it's a good thing that he went ahead and abandoned that fusion. He quickly responds, grabs all his flashes. Might be too little too late though. Stumpy force assembling near the top. Mastah pushes in. Getting dangerously close to 215's advanced. 4 factories right here. He spots the advanced factory. Mastah goes ahead and pushes in on it with flashes. He's got his cons repairing it. And just barely, 215 manages to keep it alive. Mastah wisely pulls his Samsons back at that point. See, he's got lots of units just kind of sitting up here at the front. Plenty of missile towers. But again, you can see they're widely spaced out. So this looks like there's a lot just from a mega map perspective. You're like, oh wow, there's just so much stuff there. A handful of storms or flashes will punch right through one of those, particularly storms and rockos. They're very good at breaking that kind of widely dispersed missile tower defense. Samson's not so much, especially these tight-packed missile towers. They will win this fight, but they're not as good at base busters as rockos or storms are. Big raid time by 215, sends his flashes out on the bottom left. Feels like he's got enough space. See what 215 has done is he's built these kind of Dragon's Teeth corridors. So the units can't just come in and hit the hill directly. They actually have to work their way around these and come through these narrow passageways. The big raid, big attack by 215, it draws the attention of all of Mastah's unit. He's pushed out some stumpies of his own. You can see 215's cheeky little stumpy force has gotten a little bigger. Mastah still controls the corner, but he doesn't have as solid a control of it. You can see here we go. Stumpy's running in. Now Stumpy's are nice and beefy. They don't do a lot of damage, but they take a lot of punishment. So, unfortunately, it looks like he's driven them up and he's stopped right in range. He's got this big battle that he's worried about right there. And it looks like all his Stumpies will die a slow and horrible death. Oh, there we go. Here you guys, everybody, some Stumpies in play in a competitive Total Annihilation match. You can see just the sheer tankiness. The missile towers don't have enough firepower to necessarily stop them short of taking out that metal. 215 managed to clear the corner for his trouble. 215 moving his Samsons in to try and take control of the territory, but Mastah's Samson force is going to run into 215's finest defense force, a Dragon's Tooth wall. Elite forces right here, everybody. These are elite forces. The elite forces do their job, and 215 has to, and Mastah has to turn his force north. Resources are relatively balanced right now. I believe it's around 113 for 215 to Mastah's 121. 2 fusions for 215. 3 for Mastah. 215 really taking advantage of his air cons and reclaiming all those additional resources. That's really where the difference has been right now. Mastah overall still has more territory to his name. We've got another Samson and Flash raiding force right here. This isn't enough to defend, but this is enough to weaken the force to the point where it will be ineffective if it gets any further. 215 brings in some more forces, surrounds it, and solves that problem. Lots of land factories right here. 215 has gone K-Bot. Mastah's got his air going. He's got some K-Bot too. Building some Rockos for some missile tower base busting. Mastah's not doing as good a job in cleaning up the garbage inside his base. Lots of K-Bot labs that he's dropped, really turning those fusions into attack power. Rockos have joined the fray. And even some Bulldogs. This Guardian has pushed him back a little bit. It looks like Mastah's trying the defensive fortress that is the middle hill by 215. Stumpies once again run up against 215's finest soldiers. No. The Stumpies get close enough where the missile towers can't hit them. Good radar coverage by 215 right here. Probably helps him realize, yep, he now knows that this top corner is now his for the taking. Mastah's got his own air cons going and picking up the mess. Big advanced radar down here from 215. 4 fusions for 215. Mastah is on 4-5 fusions. Again, resource lead to Mastah on production. And Mastah has eclipsed 215 with his own metal reclamation. We've gone from unit control and microing your flashes to create traffic jams to now the big builder phase of Painted Desert. Multiple K-Bot labs at the front line, lots of idle cons. There was just way too much stuff to do. Look at this over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 K-Bot labs from Mastah. Just an infinite stream of Rockos pushing down into the south here. You can see this Dragon's Tooth wall is actually causing some problems. It's forcing Mastah's units kind of in between this hill and the Dragon's Tooth. It looks like he just has all these waypointed down to right here, and that's why they're all collecting in that spot. More fusions from 215. More Rockos from 215. The big Bulldog force only gets bigger. Again, Bulldogs aren't that great of a unit in OTA, but they are tough, and again, you have the advantage of being able to Control Z and make sure you don't have any idle units sitting in the back. You see the Rockos right here working their magic, quickly take down the missile tower line, and they move on to the next one. Big Samson force by 215 coming from out of his massive Samson factory right there. Multiple Guardians. This is just absolutely massive. And here we go. We have 215 breaking the seal on the Dirty Birds. Big Bertha coming in from 215 too. At this point, this is strictly just a defensive Big Bertha. He's not going to be hitting too much that's that useful, but he will be able to help clear some territory with it. Mastah hasn't retaken this territory down here. He's too busy building lots and lots of K-Bot Lab. 226 metal for Mastah. 200 for 215. Mastah still retains the lead. 215's idled on the top right. Again, his focus, though, is on that big building. Multiple Dragon's Teeth defenses. 215 sure does love himself some Dragon's Teeth. Mastah's Rocco push seems to have been successful. He's broken through the flashes. 215 coming into patrol and try and grab some of this metal. You can see these units are trying to move in and repair. They are on patrol. He has them there for the metal, but because of the way the order of operations work for con units, they're actually just trying to repair before they reclaim. Even though most of the time you want it the other way around. Mastah trying to take the hill at 215, trying to finish his wall. This right there, all the carnage. All of the carnage. 800 kills for both Mastah and 215 right now. And we have the Bulldog push. You can see the missile towers make pretty quick work of them. They just don't move fast enough. You know, just a handful of shots completely obliterate the missile tower. It's probably enough to get 215 a little worried. They are through. 215's soft underbelly is exposed, but you can see they're not really fast enough to do any serious raiding. The Rocco push. Mastah mixing in some hammers. Hammers are truly terrible because of the time it takes for them to unfold. And because of all this wreckage, Mastah needs something that can shoot over the top of it. Mastah's got a con in there who's reclaiming, and the Bulldog raiding force is through and in the bag. Rocco's managed to hit them enough times to take him out. 215 is down even more territory. You can see Mastah's just really pushing in. His infinite wave Rocco push from all of these factories right here seems to really be doing the trick. .215 drops a Geo. Big push from Mastah right here. All of his territory, all of this wreckage that he's now gained as a result of that push. But 215 is counterattacking with Rockos of his own. He doesn't like those Bulldogs. He'll take that. Thank you very much. Anti-nuke coming up. Dirty Birds from Mastah. What's that sound? That's a Big Bertha shooting defensively. Another Big Bertha coming up from 215. You can see he's got a handful of Hawks right now. Not nearly enough to do anything. And Mastah is through. 215, one nuke down. Mastah's working on a single anti. I don't see any other nukes, although he needs that anti for this area right here. He's building some Phoenix bombers, actually. He's skipping the Dirty Birds. You might be wondering, how on earth do you build fusions like this so quickly and efficiently? What you do is you have to take one con, have it guarded by other cons, and then you click the fusions a decent distance apart, so that way this one con can get to his build destinations before the others surround it and get in the way of where it's trying to chop the nano frame. That's how you can queue up multiple fusions, so you can't hook them. It looks like a nuke was fired by 215. Unfortunately, I don't see where it went. Master Force is now shooting the labs. 215's push of Stumpies and Roccos has gained him a little bit of territory that Mastah has not bothered to recover. Mastah is finally pushing on 215's hill. He's too busy building, he doesn't realize that there is now a Guardian on top of him. The mighty King of the Hill Sentinel has fallen. Pair of Big Berthas, third one coming up for 215. Oh, and 215, the cheeky nug. He is building a targeting facility. He thinks he's got enough resources for it. He's going to turn those Big Berthas into super defensive weapons. If they can hit everything coming in on using targeting, then that'll give him plenty of space to work with. 215 has dropped yet another Guardian. Mastah's Guardian is just doing tons of work here. He scouts. He marks out the Big Berthas. 215 is going Hawks. Mastah hasn't gone advanced K-bots, he doesn't have FARGs. So he's using advanced vehicles to pump out his air. Bombers come flying in and take out that Big Bertha and a bunch of anti-air too. Mastah, of course, sees 215's massive Hawk swarm too. So he now knows he's got something to worry about there. So 215, not needing to hide his Hawks anymore, has them take to the air and assist in the defense right as Mastah breaks through and takes down one of 215's Big Berthas from the ground. You can see how the hill works right here. Missiles can't quite hit that one guy that's up there. .215 desperately using his Hawks defensively. Mastah's just absolutely massive on the ground. He hasn't converted that into too many Hawks, though. It looks like he's still sitting on just one advanced lab. And that's not going to do him any favors. 215 has equalized Mastah, and his radar targeting is now in play. The Hawks now will be able to shoot at things even if they don't have line of sight, as long as they have them in radar. All of 215's beloved Big Berthas are down as a result of both the ground attack and the bombing. This is total annihilation, everybody. A streaming push of units sent senselessly to their death, gaining ground inch by inch. Mastah's building a Guardian. That's not the right unit to build at this time. You can see Mastah building even more K-bot labs. All of these right now just have move orders to the back of 215's base. Pair of nukes up right now for 215. And Mastah is dropping his own art. He wants to get in on the arty fun, even though I think he probably doesn't realize that 215 has one of his own. .215 is holding Mastah right now. Mastah's not able to push too much further. You can see he's building missile towers now. And he's using... 215 is slowly but surely letting his Hawks build up. He hasn't sent them into the back to try and do any offense. He's worried about losing them because the Hawks are the only thing keeping him in the game at this point. You can see Mastah's starting to switch to Jethros. He just wants something to do a little damage to those Hawks. Jethros are miserable. They aren't very good at all, but they will do something to Hawks. Tons of fusions, automatic targeting, nukes, Hawks, and a darn near infinite stream of K-bots coming from Mastah. Mastah nearly over 350 metal at this point, but 215's big building prowess is coming to play. Look at these tidy rows of anti-nukes, fusions, and that right there, that is Dirty Bird production. Just love to bomb those. Mastah's hard-fought middle right here that he's pushed forward with using his cons and his guardian. I don't know how long he's going to be able to hold it. 215 is slowly but surely moving his radar-targeted assisted Hawks further into the melee. Now, because these are bunched up right now, they are vulnerable to attack by Mastah's own Hawks. You see, Mastah's finally gotten the picture, and he's starting to produce more of his own Hawks. But this sheer Hawk production from 215 is going to be really difficult for him to match. The infinite stream is failing. 215 is gaining his ground back. Again, inch by inch. 215, 2,300 kills. Radar-targeted Big Bertha is now firing into the fray. And 215 goes on the attack. He realizes how vulnerable Mastah actually is. And Swarm takes out multiple fusions. A big, clean hole right in the back of Mastah's base. Mastah realizes he has messed up. He doesn't have enough anti-air in the back. Mastah's resources are now half that of 215. Flies his Hawk south, sees all the K-bot labs, and retreats his Hawks. Because right at the same time that his Hawks are getting through, the Rocco forces have broken through. Mastah says GG, though. He knows that those Hawks and those Dirty Birds are more than enough to control things. Mastah says he went Hawks too late. 215 says, right. Right as Mastah forces are getting on top and destroying his factories. Mastah's still in serious trouble, though. 215 doesn't have enough Hawks to finish him off right now, and he has to worry about the attack that's in his base. Samsons are not that good at destroying Hawks. They're good at destroying Hawks per cost value. It's just that 215 has so many of them and is replacing them so fast, it's going to be difficult for Mastah to really gain any ground. And for the first time in a long time, 215 with his army of Berthas and Hawks, his swarms of Hawks and his lots of Berthas have created enough breathing room for him. In come 215's Hawks. With the Hawks out of the way, Mastah once again has an opportunity for a push. 215 going at the K-bot labs, the source of his consternation. Does a little bit of cleanup, still doesn't have enough. Mastah getting out, pumping out more of his own Hawks. Doesn't look like he's done much by way of replacement, though, for his down fusions. 215, 3,100 kills. His Big Berthas are just shelling away. 17, 21, 44. At that point, it's just as accurate as a Guardian. And with an art helping it out, it's got plenty. He says, "Stupid wreck." He's got so much wreckage in the way that Mastah can't take advantage of the fact that 215's Hawks were away. Mastah's building an advanced K-Bot lab. He knows he needs to get more Hawks up if he wants to make anything at all happen out of this, while his ground push is still a threat to 215. Here comes the swarm. 215 going for the back. He discovers more fusions. Not nearly enough flak or anti-air in the back. Fusions are easy prey for 215's Hawks. This ought to seal the deal. Except 215 doesn't go for the hit. Doesn't go for the fusions. Sees the Hawks. He spies the commander. There you go. Now he sees the fusion. He comes back to clean him up. In come the nukes. Takes out the Hawk production. Mastah's anti is down from the Hawk attack. You can see he's desperately trying to rebuild his Hawk production right now. Still got more fusions on the way from the top right. He just needs more anti-air. He's got lots of wrecks, though, to help keep him going. He starts to regain some territory with the ground push. See, 215's wall defense is quite effective. Mastah has been unable to breach it, especially with the big Berthas behind it. Big Bertha is just blasting the units away before they get a chance to fire a shot. But despite that, 215 has to bring his Hawks in the back to stop more of Mastah's forces that have broken through the lines. He just didn't get his super wall defense any further here, and Mastah's got the one hole that he can punch through. 215's Hawks solved that problem, though. But that gives Mastah a little bit of breathing time. This is just huge. I gotta admire 215's ability just to keep on building, long after it seems like it might not be necessary. And it turns out it is necessary. If he decided at some point that he didn't need to build anymore, he would have found himself probably overrun with Mastah's forces. 215's big Berthas are helping regain the hill. Nuke takes out more labs. Mastah's ground push is slowed even further. Hammers from 215 in the top right. And now it's 215's turn for a big push of ground units. These are a little bit bunched too tight. But Mastah isn't able to get flax up in time. He's got 3 nukes over here. Likely at this point, Mastah is thinking a comm snipe is going to be necessary. Patrols of Hawks drops a bunch. Flacker, 57, 58, 64 kills. 69 kills. Nice. Flacker 69 is now available as a handle for any TA player who wants to take it. .215's ground push has broken into Mastah's K-Bot factory swarm right here. It looks like he is reapportioned and started cranking out Jethros to try and deal with the Hawks. You can see now 215 is slowly but surely moving his Hawk line forward. And it's hammer time. See the problem with the hammers? A bunch of them have died before they even have opened up to fire. And now they close their things again. They're going to walk into range, and while their things are closed, they're going to be getting shot. So, but again, 215 has likely done that because he wants to be able to control Z and attack from a different angle without having to micromanage large groups of units. Mastah's own Hawk production on 3 factories. That's nowhere near as many as, what is that, 20? 23? 24? 25? And the hammer push didn't really go anywhere. But the main attack force up the middle is another nuke. And another. Mastah's comm has evaded death. See now, what used to all be Mastah's is now not his anymore. See, Mastah has fired off a nuke, and the nuke disappears down to 215's ante. At this point, Mastah is out of options. The Hawkswarm have come in. 215 takes the lead with 4,579 kills. His forces have taken over completely. Good on Mastah, though, for going down swinging. Yeah, so Mastah really just went Hawks. It is true what he said. He went Hawks way too late. He thought he could overrun 215 with the ground push, but 215 with his Dragon's Teeth and heavy-duty defenses been able to hold on. Rocco's pushing in. The Hawk Force cleans up all of Mastah's base. Let's see, he's got a comm somewhere. I gotta find it. 215 says GG. Fusion's getting taken out. There's his commander, cloaked. 215 walks by. His commander stands in the wreckage of what once was his most magnificent base. 215 is victorious. Mastah is defeated. I can just look at all this crazy building right here. Multiple nukes, more factories, a ridiculous amount of traffic jams, even ambusher pop-up cannons to defend his wall. 215 says, tough game. We have been in this for an hour and a half. So I'm sure both of them are pretty tired of clicking at this point. Mastah's comm is now visible. The lone remaining unit. I don't know if he's gone AFK at this point, or if he's just waiting for 215 to find him. Nope, there he goes. He's dropping radar. Finds the commander. And Mastah has gone to a better place. That was a fantastic game, Mastah. Thanks for submitting that. I mean, I knew 215 could build. I know that was one of his things, but that was something else right there. I'm surprised he didn't decide just to drop a Vulcan for kicks near the end right there, just to throw a few more shells downrange. You can see right here the resources were very even through most of the game. I think a lot of this differential came near the end where 215 just really took off, especially after his first Hawk raid and he bagged a whole bunch of fusions, leaving Mastah high and dry and just fighting on wreckage in the territory that he had gained. But once 215 was able to push him out, the game was secure. So I hope you all enjoyed that very, very big Painted Desert game between Gnug215 and Tag Mastah. Make sure, if you haven't already, to hit the subscribe button, and also make sure you hit the like button too. Also, if you haven't gone over to Better Than StarCraft and checked out Blitz Malloy's brand new Total Annihilation Reviews channel, you need to do that, and do it right now. I'll leave a link in the description for you. All right, everybody, you take care, and I'll catch you around next time. Bye-bye.